Welcome to What's the Deal with Sam? Starring Sam Lilly. Join Sam as he discusses a wide variety of topics.
Bad mail.
Now
Thank you.
let's start the show.
Thank you. Why do I have my phone in my hand? It's because I'm looking at a screenshot. So I saw this online, and I wanted to throw in some 2 cents, or get your 2 cents, see what you guys think about this. Another game thing vaguely related to the Switch 2, but I think it applies to a lot of other stuff. Basically, somebody online posted this thing where they said, I firmly believe what Nintendo is doing is bad for the industry and leading to a crash. At this point, if you are buying a Switch 2, you don't like gaming and want to hurt consumer rights. That was their post. And the thing that they're getting at here is to do with things like the Switch 2 having a high cost, charging $80 for games, making it so that a lot of games are just, games on a card, or like not, like the key card thing, or whatever. Like they're not physically on the physical games don't physically have them on there. A lot of these practices, they just are not really having them. They're not happy with them. They don't like them, and they think that they're very anti-consumer, and that by supporting Nintendo, you're saying this is good, and that you're supporting stuff that's going to hurt consumer rights. And I feel like the stretch here for me, if you want my 2 cents, is that I think that it's probably too far to say that buying a Switch 2 is the same thing as like you hate the game industry and you're anti-gamer, you're anti-consumer rights and all that. I don't think that's fair, because I think a lot of people just want to play their games, and that's just how they're able to do it, and they don't really think as much about that stuff. I don't think it's quite fair to throw all that on them. I mean, like, are they part of the problem? I guess so, but I don't know that you can put all of the blame on them like this. It's very, I don't know if they're trying to put all the blame on them either. Obviously, Nintendo could just not do this, and then this wouldn't be this here for us to like look at that way. But what I'm thinking, like, I guess I'm just like, if you're gonna go this hard on like the idea of someone buying a Switch 2, and you're gonna try to be like, anyone who buys this is now my enemy, kind of like feeling. They didn't say that. I'm not trying to put words in their mouth, but you know what I mean, right? That's the feeling. I feel like you have to have that same energy and that same rule applied to everything else that has happened. And I feel like I just haven't seen that sentiment, right? I feel like, when games started getting DLC instead of just being, all in the actual game that you're getting, where was that energy? When we were seeing like microtransactions getting added to games now, especially ones that are already full price, where was that energy? When we were looking at loot boxes, where was that energy? Season passes, gaming subscriptions, all of these, episodic releases, all these different monetization efforts. Where was this energy then? Did you feel that then? And why is it now all of a sudden that Nintendo's doing this, that we're getting this upset about it? For this one, is this just the straw that broke the camel's back? Have you been against this the whole time? I don't feel that same energy there, and I feel like there's not a lot of, they're not showing a lot of compassion to people who aren't just terrible assholes. Or like, you know what? Yes, I actually hate the game industry. That's why I buy games. I specifically buy games because I really want people to have fewer consumer rights, and this is actually really one of the best markets for. That's why I like buying video games so much. I don't play them at all. I just buy them to put them on my shelf and see people get mad that they can't really continue to own their games. In fact, I love that my shelf is full of cases that don't actually have anything on them in the physical media anymore. That turns me on. I jerk off to that every night. I don't know. So, I mean, I'm not here to attack anybody. That's why I didn't say, like, where in the name or anything on the stuff that I was reading. But I wanted to hear you guys weigh in on this. How do you feel about this? And personally, I kind of have a thing where I was like, I was pretty vocal against things like DLC. I'm still pretty, like, against a lot of DLC. I'll get some for some of my favorite games, but rarely do I think it is deserved to do this. I think they should have just made this and added it for free or something. So I don't often get DLC. I almost never get microtransactions either, and I almost never do things like I really don't think I've ever done loot boxes. I've never bought a loot box, and that's maybe the only one that had any actual impact of like people. They kind of slowed down on loot boxes. It's like oh shit, maybe we shouldn't. Not because they had a conscience about it, but because there was threat of like, well, we'll have to regulate these like they're gambling if you have loot boxes in them. Like, whoa, 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 okay. So it's fine that gamers don't like it, and it seems like it's a horrible thing to do to them, whatever. And it's scummy and shitty for us to make a bunch of money that way. But if you're gonna try to regulate us, so it's gonna be harder for us to do whatever the fuck we want to make more money, well, then maybe we'll dial that back a bit. And I don't know. I don't think that buying a Switch 2 makes you a terrible person that hates consumer rights and is the reason gaming is getting ruined or something like that. But I do think you should be aware of where things are headed. You should be smart with your money. You should pay what, when you think it's worth it, you should buy it. Voting with your wallet is something that will work if everyone does it, but not everyone's going to do it. Only the vocal minority will do it, and even amongst them, a lot of them are just telling you to do things that, rules for thee, but not for me. They're going to buy this stuff anyways. So, with the guise of like, well, so you don't have to. Whatever. So it's not really worth arguing the stuff, but I'm wondering what you think, I guess. Do you feel like just participating in it at all is enough to be like, you know what? Yes, you're ruining it. You're the reason things are this way. These are what you're saying when you do this, or do you think that's maybe a step too far and people are maybe just trying to, throw a lot of blame around instead of looking at Nintendo directly and just pick fights with more people? I don't know. Let me know what you think in the comments on this one. I'm pretty interested. Sorry to have more Switch 2 stuff that I'm just throwing at your face. It'll be rambling, and it's not really that funny. But that's why it's a variety show, right? That's why I thought, nobody said I was going to be funny. I don't think I said it in the intro. I was like, you'll laugh. No, I was like, talk about a wide variety of topics. That was me. I was that guy. I was the guy with, with the fan and it had the mail in it, and I said fan mail. That was me. That used to be me. It's still me somewhere deep down inside this husk. Lies the heart of somebody who was kind of funny that one year when I started doing this. And you know what? Maybe you'll see him again. Maybe. But, every time that you hit the dislike button on the video, you're actually trying to further bury him and kill him. You are murdering the old Sam that is canonically dead already in the show's lore, okay? That's you. You killed that Sam. And if you're watching right now and not hitting the like button, you're also killing this Sam and that Sam a second time. That's how you're killing people all across the globe who have nothing to even do with this, with me, with you, other than the fact that they are named Sam. And that's blood on your hands. You can't blame that on me for you making your misgivings. Alright? So, what's the deal with the thing bye. What's the deal with Sam?